Hello and welcome to government class. In today's government class, we'll be looking at the structure of Nigeria's federalism between 1960 to 1966. After the introduction of Lilliton's Constitution of 1954, the Independence Constitution was introduced on 1st of October 1960, and it was later modified the 1960 Constitution was also based on the Federal Constitution of 1954, which is the Lilliton's Constitution, but it had little modifications on it. So, the Constitution came up due to the fact that Nigeria was granted independence on the 1st of October by the British. The Independence Constitution of 1960 still retained a large proportion of Lilliton's Constitution of 1954 in terms of constitutional sharing of power between the government and the regional units. So, it still retained a large proportion of Lilliton's Constitution of 1954 in terms of constitutional sharing of power between the central government and the regional units. During this period, before 1963, Nigeria's federalism was still based on the northern, the west, the eastern, and the western regions of the country. The office of the Prime Minister was occupied by Alhaji Tafawa Balewa. So, during this period, Nigeria was still using the regions, the northern region, the eastern region, and the western region. The office of the Prime Minister and the office of the Prime Minister then was occupied by Alhaji Tafawa Balewa. The next thing we'll be looking at is still under the structure of Nigeria's federalism between 1960 to 1966, Tafawa Balewa was the head of the government, and the president was a governor general who represented the Queen of England and exercised ceremonial functions as the head of state. The Nigerian federalism was operated under the parliamentary system of government. So, Tafawa Balewa was the head of government, while the president was a governor general who represented the Queen of England and he only exercised ceremonial functions as the head of the state. The Nigerian federalism was operated under the parliamentary system of government, whereby we have a ceremonial head of state and we have a head of government. In 1963, Nigeria was granted the status of a republican state, that is, a free nation, which led to the introduction of the 1963 Republican Constitution. So, the fact that Nigeria already became a free nation, no longer under the control of any other nation, was what led to the introduction of the Republican Constitution of 1963. The Republican Constitution was in effect till the 15th of January 1966, when the first coup d'etat took place in the country. So, the Republican Constitution was in place till 1966, when the first coup d'etat took place in the country. The 1963 Republican Constitution increased the number of regions in Nigeria to 4, with the creation of what we call the Midwestern region. One of the peculiar features of the Republican federalism is the creation of the office for elective president, and Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was elected by Nigerians as the head of state, while Alhaji Tafawa Balewa still remained the prime minister. So one of the peculiar features of the Republican federalism was that it created the office for the elective president, which was Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, while Alhaji Tafawa Balewa still remained as the prime minister or the head of government. Nigerian federalism during this period was still operative under the cabinet or parliamentary system of government. So the federalism Nigeria was operating as at 1963, during the period of the Republican Constitution, it was still under the cabinet or parliamentary system of government, whereby we have a ceremonial head of state and the head of government. And with this, we've come to the end of the class.